Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Wednesday, July 14th's Energy Mantra. So, today's energy mantra was actually inspired by a song in my head this morning, which was Let's Get Physical. So, today's energy mantra is I bring the light of my consciousness to dispel all shadows in my mind. Again, today's energy mantra is I bring the light of consciousness to dispel all shadows in my mind. And so, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being here. So, today's energy mantra is a beautiful invitation for us to begin to look, to really bring the light of our awareness into our minds, to uncover those shadows that we have hidden from ourselves. And we've all done this. Everyone has shadows. I have shadows. Everyone does. And what we have to do is we just have to go and look at those shadows. Now, when we look at those shadows, we're not looking at them with judgment. We're not looking at them with shame or guilt. We are looking at them with compassion. We are looking at them through the lens of compassion and love and self acceptance. That is how we really allow ourselves to take the lessons that those shadows have for us in whatever way, shape, or form, and we allow them to then integrate instead of just kind of being like, well, that's a shadow and that's over there, and I'm not going to look at it, I'm not going to pay attention to it. No, no, no. We want to acknowledge the shadow that's there. And I actually want to tell you guys a story that actually happened to me yesterday, which also inspired today's energy mantra. So remember, yesterday was all about resting in love and letting love kind of be in action and guide you and lead you. Well, yesterday, I was just not feeling too well. I started to have like a stuffy nose, and I started like my throat was itchy, and I was getting a headache, and I was just tired and just like, ugh, I can't. And the most beautiful thing occurred, which was I was like, and I don't do this on a regular basis. I had come back from my walk, and I thought, you know what? I need a nap. And so I laid down. But before I did that, I went to the Course in Miracles, which I do. And one thing that I like to do with the Course is I just do what's called a flip open. And I just kind of, I put my hands on it. I just say, Spirit, what would you like me to read today? Or what would you like me to know for today? And that was really what my intention, my asking was. What do you want me to know for today? And so I did the flip open, and I turned to the section that was called, I turned to the section that was called The Responsibility for Sight. And so I read that section. And as I did, I was like, wow, okay, so the Course is telling me that all this stuff that was happening could, in fact, be healed. And I'm not the healer. I'm not responsible for the healing, but I had to look at, okay, for me personally, and you don't have to attest to this, you don't have to even practice this way. Shadow work is however you want to practice it. But for me, I had to really look at, okay, so why do I feel like I need to be sick? Like, what is behind this? What is behind this illness? What is behind this sickness? What are the thoughts? What are the beliefs? Well, the belief was that the only way that I can, take a day off or, not post or whatever the case may be is that I don't feel well. That's the only way that I'll be able to, quote unquote, take a day off. And I saw that and I recognized that. And instead of judging myself and being like, oh, you're such a terrible person, blah, 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 all these things, I just saw it. And I recognized it. And I thought, wow, you know what? I'm willing to forgive myself for that. I'm also willing to see that I was putting that pressure on myself of, well, you have to come up with this, you have to do this, and making it a have to instead of I get to. And so I saw all these beautiful things. I allowed them to come up. I forgave each one of them the way the Course in Miracles has taught me to practice forgiveness. And as you can see, I am here today. I am just as bright and sunny and feeling wonderful. Do I still have a little bit of a stuffy nose? Yes, but no more scratchy throat, no more headache. And I didn't have to do anything except forgive. And it was amazing that that got to happen. But I had to look at those shadows. I had to be willing to be like, okay, why am I sick? Why am I putting this on to myself? And so the responsibility for sight section is just really, really beautiful because it says, I am responsible for what I see. I choose the emotions that I would feel, and everything that happens to me happens as I have asked. And some people are going to like that, some people aren't. But that's what really helped me to dive in and say, okay, let me look at this. Another way of doing that with shadow work is something else we've talked about before. Oh, hello, random. Did you all, I don't know if you all were able to see that, but we had like a little feather or angel or whatever that fabulousness was here on the screen. I could see it on YouTube. I don't know if you could see it on Facebook. That's pretty interesting. But anyway, continuing on. Something that we've talked about, another way of doing that shadow work is if you find something that disturbs your peace in whatever way, shape, or form, what must I believe in order for this to be happening? And that's just another way of questioning yourself and being like, okay, well, what thoughts must I have that will lead me to the beliefs that I have about this certain thing, about this certain situation, whatever it may be. So that is today's energy mantra. It's all about just bringing your conscious awareness into your mind, into those shadow regions that you've kind of pushed underneath the rug, that you've kind of said, man, I don't really want to look at this. But remember, if you can look at it with love and compassion to the best of your ability, and you practice, bringing it into the light of awareness, then that's when that healing process begins. And that's when we get to come out of it. And that's when it doesn't bother us anymore. So I got to see from my own personal experience that healing is possible, and it can be an instant healing. It can happen. It is real. And so that's just something I wanted to share with all of you for today's energy mantra. I thank you for being here. I thank you for joining me. And I will see you all tomorrow for tomorrow's energy mantra. Bye for now.